Success shouldn't feel this exhausting. If you're winning on paper, but burning out behind the scenes, you aren't failing. You're stuck in a psychological bottleneck called a hurdle of stop. I've been there. On the outside, things look great, but I was secretly burning out, convinced I was just lucky, and waiting to be exposed as a fraud. I realized I didn't have a business problem. I had a mindset block. Whether it's imposter syndrome, perfectionism, or fear or failure, these aren't just feelings. They are growth bottlenecks. Identify your specific hurdle and get one immediate action step to regain your momentum today. Go to tuepodcast.net/quiz. That's tuepodcast.net/quiz to take the 3-minute assessment and get your report now. Attention Screw Believers, join me live on Facebook and YouTube for a talk on getting across the start line, the 5 problems that we face as new entrepreneurs, and what to do about them. Go to linktr.ee/DJSKOOB and follow me on Facebook and YouTube so you don't miss out on my first speaking live on Tuesday, January 16th at 4 p.m. Central. Hope to see you there. This is an Undiscovered Legacy production. Welcome to The Undiscovered Entrepreneur, the podcast where brand new entrepreneurs come to life and could quite possibly be discovered. Join me, DJ Scoob, and the rest of the Scoob Believers as we help these new businesses become a reality. And now, away we go! We now join DJ Scoob and the coaching of Lori Davenport, already in progress. So, I'm just kind of can you give me a little bit of breakdown of exactly what you do? I know you do help people with elevator pitches and that kind of thing, but can you give me a little more of a breakdown of what you actually do?
Yeah, so I'm just getting started, but I use the Gallup CliftonStrengths assessment to help people with their elevator pitch. So there's no rules in saying that you can't bring that report with you to your interview. So you can have something that's tangible to hold on to and have like notes to help you walk through it, especially for those that are very timid and really don't know how to talk about themselves without talking about their family, their culture. It's just a way for them to say, this is what I do and this is how I do it 100% of the time.
Right.
And it's empowering for them, and so they can believe in themselves and have a way of saying, this is what I don't do, and this is what I can do. And this is how I do it. Yeah.
So you give them that tool.
Yes. So
Okay.
Basically you go through, and are you familiar at all with the Gallup CliftonStrengths report?
That was actually going to go ahead and be my next question, but I mean,
Okay. So it's along the lines of a personality test. I don't know if you've heard of Colby or anything like that. But basically you take a test of about 100 and some questions.
Ooh.
And while it sounds like a lot, there's no right or wrong answers. So you just go with your first gut, instinct on the answers. So if you're very like that, or you're not so like that, or somewhere in the middle. And so then that basically produces a report of 34 strengths, and it's always the same 34. It's just in a different order. It's whatever it is that energizes you.
Mm-hmm.
And that would end up in, like, say, your top 10. But then whatever de-energizes you would be in your bottom 5. So like, I'm one that doesn't like to have consensus. I don't have to make, the boat not rock. I like to rock the boat. So to speak. So And then once you get your top 10, it breaks down the strengths into themes, but I like to call them domains based on how I've learned it. And so somebody who's executing it, who loves to do things the right way, somebody who's strategic thinking, loves to think, create, and or learn. They don't necessarily do all of those, but they do some combination thereof. Somebody who's a relationship builder would be one that loves to connect with the right people. And then it's somebody who's an influencer would love to move people forward. So that way you can say, I love to do everything in a way that honors my desire to move people forward, do things the right way, think, create, and or learn. So if somebody has strengths in that top 10, if they have 3 or more, that's ones that they have to honor the desire for.
Okay.
And then they can use that, and then all the descriptions of those strengths to show how it is that they do it. So, like for me, I would say, and how I do that is I stick to my core values and love to look at things in the future. I love to make sure things get done. I have a great stamina and I work hard, to achieve goals, and because I love taking immense satisfaction in being busy and productive.
Right.
And, turn thoughts into action. I loved the process of learning rather than the outcome, and take psychological responsibility of what I say I'm going to do. And I'm guided by my inner compass and do everything with contagious enthusiasm. So I like to measure my progress against the performance of others. But it's while I strive to win first place, I'm not cutthroat. My positivity won't let me. So, and then I'm fascinated by ideas. So I like to put things that seemingly don't go together, like disparate phenomena, just to put it in fancy words, and then think outside of the box in order to make something good even better. So that would be kind of the elevator pitch that I could put together for somebody. That's just my report. So
that's that whole thing you just said, that's yours, right? That's what you came up with that test.
Exactly.
Oh, that's interesting. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, do you offer any other services besides that or anything different, or is that pretty much your main focus right now?
As of this moment, that's been my focus, because I find that I do it with everything that I do. And it could work for even entrepreneurs due to the fact that they're always trying to come up with their own elevator pitch. It's like, well, what is in it for me? What is it that you can do for me?
Right.
And this is how they can explain it. So, and I found that when you speak to this, and it's something that you can really like wrap your head around, like, 'cause communication is not one of my strongest strengths, but this is the way I can communicate how I do things. And this is a way that someone who doesn't have communication high, because communication is one of those strengths, they're a wordsmith, they're able to just like put things together and really motivate and, encourage. But for me, sometimes it takes me a minute. I have to learn it at first. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I can regurgitate that in my own way.
Right.
So, but I'm not afraid of like speaking in public. So, I've had to be an announcer in front of 5,000 people before. I was like, oh, you need to do this. Okay, I'm going to be on that.
That's great.
So,
Well,
so
that's one of the hardest things right now is to talk to and, in front of a bunch of people. But if you're already past that, that's already part of the deal, so that's good.
Yeah.
So what I'd like to know is what I'm going to do here with you is just kind of a little bit of coaching and just to see how I can help you with what you're doing. So what are you hoping to get out of this conversation? I mean, what is the one thing you'd really like? What's really on your mind at this point?
So for marketing wise, I've got the website, I've got a CRM, it's just a matter of how do I get myself out there? Now, yes, I know social media is a thing, with Facebook, I've got Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, the norms, I guess you could say. I've not gotten into TikTok. Just haven't I mean, that's just one more thing to learn everything about. And I haven't had the time to do that because I'm one that needs to streamline down. I know to like one or two, and then figure out the message that because when I said I do it with interviews, people are just like fascinated by it. And then I go into, this is how I use this. And they're like, oh my gosh, I want one of those. So I could like sell how they could do like their proclamation. So they could, you know, be able to have their own, because everybody's unique. And the great thing about this is that somebody that has the same like top 5 as you is like one in like a couple of thousand. So, or a couple 100,000, but when you get to this top 6 and 7, there's nobody like you on the face of the planet, being born now or ever. So that's the great thing about the numbers. If you're a numbers person, that you're infinitely unique. So that's where I want to try and get people into that kind of belief space. So that way they could like basically talk well of themselves and help to relate to others. And because sometimes people don't feel they're ever understood, especially those that are strategic thinkers, because they're always doing it in their head. They're not an outward person. So where somebody who's an influencer, you see them going like this, with all their actions, using their hands. But a strategic thinker goes like this, but they do it in their head. So.
Okay.
So basically what I'm looking to do is, when I was talking, was like, should I start with Eventbrite? Should I, go with sticking with the social media and then just coming up with a plan, a content plan to do that? Should I just try and get myself out there on as many podcasts as possible? But I know that podcasts, depending on the person, sometimes it doesn't, isn't financially gainful. It's just popularity. So, but I'm not to say that that's the belief I firmly hold on to. I'm not married to that, but I want to be able to kind of like streamline and do this while working full time, and dealing with life. So.
Right. It makes perfect sense. I understand all that because I'm pretty much in there with you too, as far as most of that's concerned. So, okay. So you want to work on your marketing, and you have a couple of things you're working on there. What else? What else do you think would benefit you?
Well, I don't know. What have you got to offer? Because I don't, I'll be honest with you. I didn't do my research with you or on you. So I don't even know what you have to offer. And I'm curious about that.
No, what I really offer is basically I want to find out about you mostly. You are my agenda. So the reason why I ask these questions to kind of get inside your head a little bit, to see where your thinking is. And then I take whatever that is, I pull it out and I do this to it, and then I put it back in. So
got it. That works.
Yeah. So when I ask what else, there's other things that you have going on in your head right now besides marketing. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
That you're trying to accomplish. So what else is going on in your head right now that you're working on that's kind of like,
Okay. Well, I'm trying to put together the course. Like, I have the idea of what I want to use. Eddie Villa, who is my mentor, had wrote a book called Unleash Your Strengths. And it's a very simple book. It really goes through how you can use the strengths report. And, but my spin is going to be with just belief in yourself while trying to, put yourself out there with interviews. So I know there's a way, and I'm thinking maybe I need to target, not just people who are seeking work, but, some kids are going out there that have to do interviews for college. So I could go that route, I guess I just need to kind of figure out my niche, because I haven't quite figured that out yet. Like, I've coached some people who've used my technique in not only their interviews, but also in their resumes, and they got what they wanted, or they were able to make the decision based on their strengths. Is this going to be a good fit for me or not? So, and And it's great because you can like go through an interview and, use your strengths. And then when you come out of it, you're just like, now let me go back to my strengths. Is this going to help me in my future? Is this going to help me, achieve my goals? Is this going to help me, stay in my top strengths instead of having to figure out the analytical part of things? If you have some analytical low, you know, um, figuring out all the factors, if you're restorative, or deliberative. And, it's just like, if it's going to keep me in my past, forget it. It's going to completely drain me. I don't want to do that.
Right.
Like I was in a job for 7 years that kept me in my bottom strengths all the time. And it was exhausting every single night I came home. And I didn't realize it until I actually learned about this. And I'm like, oh, I keep having to reflect on the past instead of keep looking forward because it's the same problem that keeps cropping up over and over again. I have to figure out what is wrong and resolve it all the time. And it's just like, no, I'd much rather just be beyond that and actually go into looking towards the future rather than always sticking in the past. But then there are some people who do very well with the past. And then there are yet others that have no concept of time because they can look forward, they can look backward, they can be in this space and time and they're fine with it. So for me though, I'm always looking forward.
Okay. No, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Mhm.
So, it sounds like you're having a rough time niching down to one specific type of avatar or person that you really want to deal with because you have this one thing that can do so much for so many people.
Right.
But when you help a lot of people, you're basically helping nobody because you're out just
Exactly.
all over the place, right? And you're expending
Exactly.
all this extra energy that's wearing you out because you're over here. Then, I want to help this person over here. Wait a minute, I need to help this
Mm-hmm.
person over here because they really need my help. And it's
Yes.
exhausting.
Very.
Okay.
Very. And I mean, I went to college and and I'm a recent college graduate because my master's was in 2019. So, and my bachelor's was in 2017. So I did the raising of the kids thing first. And, my bachelor's was business with an emphasis on, oh crap. Why am I drawing a complete blank on that?
Yeah.
On digital marketing, sorry.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then my master's was business with an emphasis on entrepreneurship. So I know the things that I need to do. It's just a matter of trying to drill it down to where it's like, okay, this is step one. And this is step two. And like some people say, well, you need the website. Others like, no, you don't need the website. Some people are saying you need the email list. I was like, okay, so I'm building an email list. And now I've found a platform that I was able to get an email list to about 11,000. So that's a good thing, but they don't know me. It was just a list. And it's like people who are looking for opportunities and, in order to make money online. And then, here's the affiliate. So, and I'm lucky to make 10 cents a click, which I mean is better than nothing,
Yeah, but
but
still.
oh, it's
Yeah.
exhausting,
It is.
so let's send the emails every single night, which is what I've been doing. But, and just to help build up something or have some kind of momentum. Now, granted, this is, everything is all in one pretty box when it comes to that, platform.
Right.
So it's like, don't take it out of this platform because if you put it on Aweber or anything, they're going to kick you out because you didn't build it on Aweber,
Mhm.
So, and mine isn't even Aweber. I have a platform called Keep. So, and I don't know if it can use it, but I also don't want to be kicked into spam, and have to go look for IPs all the time. No, thank
Right.
you.
Right.
So I'd much rather just teach everything, but I tend to learn a lot of things and I'm able to give a lot of advice or, would you be open to? And when people say yes, like, oh my gosh, you're so good at this. I'm like, well, thank you. But now I need to monetize it. So that's where I haven't figured that part out.
Okay. Monetization.
So, and I mean, I'm good with coming up with something evergreen, if I have to go on to like, what is it, Thinkific or something like that. or Kajabi.
Mhm.
More people know Kajabi than they do Thinkific. Um, can I use AI? Yes, absolutely. So, but it's kind of like, jack of all three trades, master of nothing. So, and but I mean, this has been my kind of my calling in the last 2 years. Actually more than that. I don't even know when I started. 2020, like 2019, 2020.
So
So
almost in around about 3 years.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I've dove deep into these, so you can learn a lot about a person and just listening to them talk. So, you know, like for you, I would say just in this little bit of, you know, going back and forth, you're taking it all in. So you've got, you're probably taking things in and then like kind of putting it away. And then you can bring it back out later after you do all the jumble thing. And exactly. And then, you'll you may not have time to think deep on it, but you're definitely your wheels are spinning. So, you're going through the intellectual side of things and no problem. Whereas as you can see, I can use my hands, but I can also take a step back and just listen and learn or just let me write it down and do it the right direction. So that way I'm doing it the right way.
Right.
So, because for someone like me, I'm considered a chameleon. So that's why I have 3 different domains in my top 10. Whereas somebody else, maybe very much a relationship builder, they have to, be with the right people no matter what. But then there's influencers that like absolutely have to move people forward. So if a person gets stuck and just starts spinning, an influencer will get so frustrated because they're not moving forward. So, and if the influencer is a relationship builder, they want to be with the right people in order to move them forward. So, and if they can't do that, it exhausts them. So they get irritated and they end up dipping and not being themselves and
Yeah.
not a pleasant person to be around.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
you're basically, it sounds, boy, you are all over the place, aren't you? You have monetization that you're worried about. You have some skills in digital marketing that you've went to college for.
mhm,
So that's good because that'll definitely give you an advantage over some other people.
mhm.
Okay, and I could help with that. Okay, what else?
I mean, really, it's like, should I create the course or make the course as I go along? I mean, because I've kind of learned with so many different types of people, it's just like, just go do this. And then it's so disempowering to me. And I'm just like, that worked for you. It's
Mhm.
not working for me. Like, go interview a whole bunch of different people, put it together, do some videos, and then sell that package. Okay. So I went out to go interview people and it's exhausting getting all the no's. I did it with Affleck. I hated every second of it. And it's like, yes, the yeses were nice, but you got to go through hundreds of no's in order to get to the yeses. Yes, I read the book, but it's just like, I don't know. I want to figure out a way to get the right people to come to me because I do know that that's possible with like SEO or like putting yourself out there to get the right people to come to you. Hence the reason why we're having this conversation. So, you put something out there. I was like, this sounds interesting. Let me go do that. So should I do something free first? Do a discovery call of sorts
Sure.
and then go from there. So that's kind of that's partially where I'm at. So, but without feeling like I'm taking away from the responsibility that I have to the family, because that's first and foremost, no
Right.
matter what.
Right. Well, that's the whole reason why we do what we do, because when we get to where we want to be at, we're going to have that freedom and time to be with our families at that
Mm-hmm.
particular point. So that everything that you're working towards right now, eventually at the very end of it, it's going to be freedom to be with your family, freedom to do what you want, freedom
Mm-hmm.
to of money, all that good stuff. And that's the whole
Right.
reason why we do what we do, right?
Sure. Exactly. Exactly.
All right. Is there anything else that you want to cover that's kind of deep in your head here?
Um, that's pretty much it for now. I know that wasn't very much and we were only 20 minutes in, but that's where I'm at.
Okay.
So I'm just, I don't want to say I'm stuck. I just feel like I want to go in too many different directions at the same time.
You're
And I
not
need to just,
you're not stuck. You are
Mhm.
way unstuck.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
have a whole lot going on. That's not being stuck. That's being
No,
like moving like this. So
exactly.
yeah. So don't worry about that. I don't think you're stuck. There.
Okay, good.
I don't think you're
That
stuck.
makes me feel good.
You don't have you just don't have a direction of where
Right.
to go from here on out. Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to work backwards. That's how,
Sure.
because how I keep things fresh in my brain. You said that you weren't sure about how to create a course correctly. Can you kind of go over that a little bit more about what's in your head about the course?
So, two different ways I've learned about it is one, create the course and then teach the course over and over and over again, whether somebody shows up or not. The other way I've learned it is go teach something and kind of create the course as you go the first go round. So, like, say, for instance, I put together a 6-week course. I don't have any plan. I sell it first and then create it as I go. So kind of backwards, kind of like the way you were just describing. And so it's just like, I guess in a way, I'm just like, well, which way should I try it? Or should I try both? I don't know. So I have the general shell of how I want to teach the course. But I know depending on my audience, that can change. And I guess that's where I'm just like, maybe I shouldn't do it that way. I don't know. So that's where I'm kind of stuck when it comes to courses.
Have you actually tried both ways, or started one way and then ended up going another way? Have you done anything like that at all?
Well, when I've taken courses and helped with others, I saw that the course would go a completely different direction. So it's almost as if you just don't have, there's no way you can know what exactly everybody needs until you actually go through the course with them and then like figure out what exactly it is that particular audience is looking for. But I haven't found my audience in order to go through that process with. So, and like I've tried reaching out to like headhunters and things like that, and they're just not interested, or they don't have the funds, or, or. Now I'm in the Washington, Baltimore area. So I'm basically right in the middle of the two. Baltimore's a little closer than DC, but it's not like I don't have ample people around this area to go to, but I just need to figure out how to get started. And that's why I was thinking, should I do an Eventbrite in order to figure out the course, in order to then build the course as I go along with that first 6 weeks, do a beta testing of sorts.
So
So
if I'm hearing you right, you have a course that you started making already, or
I did.
okay.
I did.
Is it finished?
No.
Okay. All right. When you're making this course, who knows about this course that you're making?
Just some family and friends. I
Okay.
haven't like put it out there. That
Um,
doesn't help me. I know.
well, that's what I was going to say is building a course in public
hmm
would be a lot more beneficial for you, because you're going to start, if you start building in public and other people are seeing you're building this course, they'll let you know if they're ready for this course or not as you build it.
Okay.
So like, then you'll have people, hey, I want this course now. Okay. Then it's something that you need to build as you're going.
hmm
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Or on the other hand, if you have somebody that's interested, but not quite interested to the point where they want to buy it right now, then maybe you should build the course first. It's so important to build your course in public, not just your
Okay.
family and friends, but if you said you have an email list,
I do.
okay, let your email list know, every one of them, hey, I'm putting a
Okay.
course together.
hmm
You have contact with a very large amount of people that will give you feedback on what they want in a course. You've already got that part accomplished. You just need to do it.
Okay. Okay. Simple
It's,
enough.
yeah, it's super
It's
simple.
really that simple. I guess I just try to make it way more complicated than it needs to be. And I'm very good at that.
Why do you think that is?
Because I let my ideas go rampant, and then I want to turn those thoughts into action. And as I like to say, I piss off my achiever strength, which is getting the actual thing done. And then I get very frustrated. So, I don't know. I guess part of me feels like I have so many obligations with the family right now because I'm in that in between place in my life. It's like my kids are in their 20s, all three of them now, and then I have, my other half's mother and uncle who live with us, plus my dad, so who's not living with us, but I have responsibilities to them. So, and family comes first. So that's where I get caught up in, well, I need to spend time with the family,
Right.
because I work full time. So when am I going to have time to work on this course?
Right.
So, but then I know that if I don't do it, how am I going to be able to have the ample time with them because I haven't taken the time to make the course? So
Right.
I can look at it from both sides and I'm very good at that.
Yeah.
So
you're trying to balance your obligations with your building of your course and the things that you need to do to accomplish what your goals are, but you have the other obligations that you have to deal with at the same time.
exactly.
Okay. So when I hear about trying to balance anything when it comes to time, okay, you have to set a boundary for yourself to set a certain amount of time, whether it be per day or per week, even if it's only an hour, even if it's only a half an hour, to sit down and work on your business.
Okay.
Okay. Now, let me give you an example. I work 2 full-time jobs
Okay.
on top of my podcasting, on top of entrepreneur coaching.
Wow. How do you do that? Just by setting the boundaries?
Set the boundaries. Set
Okay.
the time aside to be able to do the things that you know that you need to do to accomplish these things. Okay. And then when you have these boundaries set, you discuss them with everybody that you have obligation with, your family, your father, your other half, whoever it is that normally would take up a lot of your time, to say, hey, I have put 1 hour aside for myself on Tuesday at 9:00 at night to work on my whatever it is. Please do not disturb me during that time. This is a boundary that I've set for myself so I can push things along, so I can have the freedom when the time comes.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. So for example, I have 1 day a week, every Tuesday. We're actually in it right now. This is some of my time right here. And then I have every other Sunday, I have a morning shift. I have from 10:00 to 2:00 that I do all my podcasting stuff there too. So 2 times a week is the only time I'm doing this. But since I'm able to sit down and actually concentrate on what I'm actually doing, instead of having to worry about these obligations, I'm able to accomplish a lot more.
Sure.
Because I could concentrate on what I'm doing.
Okay.
There's also another thing I like that's called Einstein time. Have you heard of that before?
No.
Okay. So Einstein time goes over the fact that when you're doing something that you really, really love to do, that's really within that zone of genius, you could do a lot in a short amount of time because you're really into it. But at the same time, if you're doing something you really hate doing or something that's really kind of gut wrenching, time seems to go forever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So we have to concentrate everything that we love, everything that we hold dear to ourselves when it comes to our business inside that Einstein time, because we are the most efficient when we're doing that time.
Okay.
That's the only reason I'm able to pull off what I pull off, because when I'm in my time zones, I'm in my zone of genius. I'm in my zone. I'm in my flow. And
Got
I'm
it.
able to accomplish a lot more in that amount of time than I would if I had to push it all out all over the place.
It makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
So to be able to build this course, you're going to have to set aside some time for yourself
Hmm.
that that's away from your obligations, that's in your boundaries. It's the only way it's going to happen.
Okay. Makes sense. And I guess that's where I allow people to invade those boundaries a lot.
Yeah.
And then I get upset about it.
Yep.
So,
You get upset with them for getting through those boundaries, and then you get upset with yourself for letting them come through your boundaries.
yep. Both sides. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So set the time aside. I like the idea of 2 times a week. That's very, very, very doable. So,
Even if it's just a little bit of time.
mhm,
I use this analogy lately where this time is like a snowflake. And you get
mhm,
enough of those snowflakes together, you make a snowball. If you get
mhm,
enough of those snowballs together, you either start throwing them at each other or you build a
mhm.
snowman,
Right.
right?
That makes sense.
Those times that we set aside for ourselves as our snowflakes,
Okay. Okay.
all right? Even if
Yeah.
it's a small amount of time, even if it's only 10 minutes, it's 10 minutes more that you're spending on something that you love, that you could concentrate on and have those boundaries for yourself.
Mm, I got that. Okay. I like that analogy. That's good. So you can start an avalanche.
There you go. Now you're talking. That's a bunch of snowmans running down the road.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Uh-oh.
So, the course that you have built right now, what is that about? I mean, what is the main premise of that course that you've built?
That, um, and I guess that this is where, in a way, it bothers me because I'm using the same stuff that my mentor taught me, which is basically believing in yourself. So by using the strengths report, figuring out your domains, figuring out what your proclamation is, your strengths DNA that you can then tell people how it is you do things in the way that you do things that's unique just to you. And it actually helps relationships. It helps, you know, with your health, it helps with your wealth and just belief in yourself. So those 4 major things. And but I tend to go into the more of the belief in yourself because once you know that, like I've seen so many people have the aha moments. I've seen so many people who have cried because this is the first time that they felt understood ever. And it's very, very, very powerful. And especially when you go into this stuff, it's like the I don't have to's. They're just like, oh my God, you just took this huge weight off of my shoulder. So it's really more so of like belief in yourself without going down anything really woo woo. It's not and I'm not trying to discard, anything that's like energy work or anything along that line or
Mhm.
law of attraction. I mean, I've found the common sense in a lot of that more so than, just going down the mystical and, you know, but this is something that is like tangible. It's science. It's scientific,
Good
to a
point. Right.
point.
Yeah. Right.
And, it's something that you could have like just basic language in order to figure out how it is that why it is that you feel a certain way about something is like, but I should make sure that I don't rock the boat. No, the reason why you do rock the boat is because you're constantly wanting to learn or constantly wanting to move forward or and that's okay. It's like given permission just to be yourself. So that's, basically where the course is going. It's like his book is called Unleash Your Strengths. I need to figure out a different way to tout that because it's a beautiful thing, but it's to help believe in yourself. And I just haven't figured out a great title yet for it.
Okay. So let me ask you this. You explained that perfectly, first of all. Thank you for
Thank
that.
you.
That makes perfect sense. My question to you at this point, after all that, is where is your personality in all of that?
See, because I have belief as my, what we call the anchor strength, and futuristic as my number one, it's like, I believe that this will help you in your future. And I can see how it's going to play out. So that's where I'm at in this. It's just like, it just makes so much sense. And here's why. So, and I can explain that, but I also don't want to throw up information on people,
Right.
who aren't ready for it. So,
But I really feel that like you have a great personality, first of all. I want to say that. But
thank you.
I'm not seeing that great personality and everything that you've explained to me just now. I'm seeing a cookie
Okay.
cutter. I've written this down. I've read it on this
Yeah.
piece of paper and I have it memorized.
Right.
Okay. I'm not hearing
Okay.
your own voice in any of that.
Okay. And I guess that's where I'm trying to find that,
You need to find that. And I think
Okay.
you can even like, you could still say that same whole thing again,
Mm-hmm.
but with your personality, with your smile, with your giggles, with your light up of your face. Because every time you stop talking about this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
your personality comes back. I see it come back
Oh,
as soon as you stop talking about it.
that's funny. Okay.
Okay? This is just an observation I have. It's like
Yeah.
you're talking. Okay, this is this and this is then. So what do you think? I really like this. Yes. Oh. And
Yeah.
then we're talking about this. And we're okay.
Yeah.
You need
Yeah.
to interject more of you in your business because that's what people are
Okay.
going to be drawn toward is not all this stuff. Yes, all this stuff is great and cool, but anybody can do that.
True.
But you as a person, as Lori,
Mm.
that people are going to be attracted to different than anybody else.
Okay.
And you need more Lori in what you do.
Okay. Now I got to figure that part out.
No, you don't. It's
So,
there. It's already
okay.
there. You got to just let it out. It's there. I tell you, it's there. You have
Okay.
it. I could see it in you,
Well, thank you.
but you need to let it out when you're talking about your business. When you're talking about your business,
Mm-hmm.
Lori gets pushed down and you're
Mm-hmm.
all business.
Yeah. I can believe that. Yeah.
Okay. So what
Okay.
I want is more Lori in my business, in your business.
Okay. Okay. So I guess I've just been so methodical with it and for so long that I've just lost, I guess, the spark, so to speak, of letting me out and just saying, this is the way to do it and this is how to do it. And it's going to be great. So,
What I'm going to do is I'm going to send this back to you, this video
yeah.
that we're doing right now. And I
Okay.
want you to watch yourself do this
Okay.
because you can't read the label from inside the bottle. You have to look at
Sure.
it from the outside, right?
Yeah.
So when you flip that and you're watching yourself, I want you to pay attention to when you start talking about the business. And then
Mm-hmm.
when you stop talking about the business, start talking about your family, or you start
Mm-hmm.
talking about your dreams or your
Mm-hmm.
goals. You're a whole different person when you're talking about that.
Oh, I've been told, especially when it comes to like my favorite things, which are like Disney and everything Disney. So,
I'm a Disney guy. I'm a Muppet
yeah.
guy too.
You're a who?
Muppet.
Fabulous.
Yes.
Yes.
Huge Jim Henson fan. Like, love it.
Wonderful.
So you can see some of my posts, I'm sure. Okay.
Okay.
Now, another thing I want to talk to you about here a little bit more is about the world of no.
Okay.
Okay. Now, before all this, I was a 16-year car salesman.
Okay.
I've gotten more no's
Yeah.
than just about anybody out there right now because I sold cars.
Sure.
It was really tough to deal with rejection. I still, to this day, thinking back to then, I had a really rough time with dealing with rejection. But I've shifted my thinking about that because Yes lives in the world of no,
True. I get that.
right?
Yeah.
You may say no, but it's not always no at you, particularly like Lori. No,
Okay.
there's something else that's making him say no,
Hmm.
whether it be the way you're wording things, whether it be your offer, it's something
Hmm.
like that. It's not Lori that they're saying no to. And you got to stop taking that so personally to yourself, because that's what I did when I was selling cars. Every time somebody said no to me, I took it personally. I took it with myself because they don't like me. They said no
Oh,
to me because they don't like me.
right.
No, they don't like me. They didn't like the car. They didn't like the deal. They didn't like my manager in the back that's writing all the scribbles on the piece of paper that they can't read.
Right.
Right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So what you got to understand is yes lives in the world of no.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm. That makes sense, actually.
Now there's something that they always said too at the dealership. I don't keep it too close to my heart, but no means not yet.
True. I've heard that before.
Right. Like I said, I think about that when I hear a no, but that's not the first thing I go to when I hear a no, but it's in there somewhere.
Hmm.
Right. So just kind of realize that we all have to go through as entrepreneurs no's. It's part of the
Hmm.
deal. It's like failure. It's the same thing. It's all part of the deal. It's all
Yeah.
us being an entrepreneur. We have to learn to accept no.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Okay. Any questions up to this point before I go on to my next subject?
No.
Okay. I just want to make sure all the questions are being answered here. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You need to have some SOPs. You know what that is?
Other than standard operating procedures?
Yes, that's exactly
Okay.
what it is.
Yeah.
I don't feel any of those coming from you.
I would agree with that.
Just because
And yet it's funny because I've actually written them for previous jobs. So
why
it's
haven't you
that
written it for your entrepreneurship?
I never thought to be honest with you. I've been so used to working for somebody else that I never thought to put it into play for myself.
Well, who are you working for right now? You.
I work, yes, for me.
I know you.
That's exactly who
I
I
was trying
work.
to catch you because I know you're going to start writing off who you actually work for.
Nope. And
But
then as soon as I saw your face, I was like, no, I work for me.
that's
That's
right.
right. Mm-hmm.
So treat
Yeah.
yourself as your own employer. Set up
Okay.
those standard operating systems for yourself so you have a guidance of where to go next in whatever it is that you're doing.
Okay.
If you have those guidances, then you'll be a lot less likely to go when you come
True.
up with an idea, right?
Yeah. Okay. I never thought to do that before. That's so funny. And yet I'm very good at writing procedure manuals. So too funny. Okay.
Okay, does that make sense for you?
It does. It
Okay.
actually does.
So if you were to, Missy, you know what your business is about. I'm not so much. If you were to make a quick, just like a 2-second standard operating system for your business, just off the top of your head, what do you think you would put in there?
Well, first would be to get started and to set the times.
Okay,
You
good.
know, I would definitely have to set the 2 times a week and then figure out, this will be part 1, this is part 2, part 3 of the course.
Mhm.
And then be able to, as I'm working on the course, I don't know, what would you recommend? Would it, it's like, I'm working on this course. This is what I'm putting into part 1, and then just kind of throw it out there and see if anything catches. And
Mhm.
then this is part 2 and see if anything catches, and so on and so forth. And by the time you're done, this is what you're going to have, and see what I've got.
And the nice thing about people following along in your entrepreneur adventure of building this course is by the time you get into it, people that have followed you from the very beginning are going to want that course right away because they've watched you build it. They've watched you work on it. And now that you have it done, hey, this is actually something I can use. And I've watched her build it the whole way. She didn't just pull it out of a box. She worked
Mhm.
on this hard on herself. This is her thing.
Okay. and just not be afraid of putting it out there
Yeah.
because the no's are the not.
Why do you think you're afraid of putting things out there like that?
I'm not sure. Well, I do know why. There was something I was told a long time ago, and it was my grandmother of all people who said it. She's just like, you can't go and start your own business. You've got too many responsibilities to your family, to do that. And it just like completely shattered me. And I don't know, I was in my 20s or something like that. And so it's just like, you just have to go to work for someone else, and keep the benefits and everything because you've got 3 kids. So, because at the time I was a single mom, and it's just like, okay. So that's what I did. I just kind of squashed it, even though I keep learning and keep going to all these different courses and everything because I still want to do it. And it's just like, then she rings in the back of my head. So, and it's just, she's no longer in this world and she can't affect me anymore, but she still affects me.
Because she said something profound to you that changed your life and changed your direction. And now she's still in your head because it was impactful. It was a negative impactful, but it was impactful nonetheless. So you still hear her in the back of your head when you start building something where you start working on your course, when you want to sit down and work on your email.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you can't physically hear her, she's back there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest with you, there's no real 100% way to get rid of that. There's really not. What we have to do instead is think it and then move on.
That makes sense. That makes sense because, I mean, it makes you who you are, So
we all at one point or another have a dark part of ourselves that we have to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to realize that that's part of us. We're not going to be able to pull it out of our bodies and throw it away. We're not going to be able to extinguish it.
Right.
We have to accept it as part of who we are.
Right.
Once we accept that, then we can control it. Pat it on its head. Thank you very much for the unsolicited advice, but I'm going to go do this.
I remember reading that. It's from The Big Leap or, where fear is like with you or in the backseat or something. I don't know. There was a book that I read that had that.
So it's a combination. Similar. It's a combination of a couple of things. The Big Leap was part of it, and that's actually my favorite book. Changed my life.
Yeah, I want to go read it again now.
I have it on my Audible. I listen to it at least once a month.
Okay. See, I have the physical book.
No, got to get the Audible because you'll find out. Do you have Audible?
Do I have what?
Audible?
No, I don't.
Okay, I'm going to give you a link. I'll give you a link that actually gives you a book for free.
Okay.
And I want you to get The Big Leap.
Okay.
It's very more powerful when you could actually hear it here instead of possibly even your grandmother's voice for all we know.
Sure.
It just hits differently.
Okay. That makes sense.
I'll give that to you later.
Okay.
So actually it's a combination of that and, believe it or not, Yoda.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a part in the animation of Star Wars where Yoda has to fight a dark side of himself. And
interesting.
He can't win. As hard as he fights, he can't win until he accepts the fact that the darkness is part of him.
Oh, wow. That is very powerful.
And
it's very powerful.
As funny as it sounds, it's a cartoon and it's Star Wars and Yoda. That hit me here.
Sure.
Because I've come from a dark place in my past, and it's been a part of me for a really long time. And it's just over the last couple of years where I'm actually starting to do what I said, pat it on the head and say, hey, I'm going to go do this instead.
Okay. Good job.
So when I hear something like what you're talking about, when something negative hits you, that kind of sticks with you like that. We got to realize that, yes, it's a part of us, but.
Thank you for being a part of this. I'm still going to move on.
Yes. Exactly. Very good. Very good.
Okay.
Okay. So, I want to talk a little bit about your email marketing. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. So what are you doing for your email marketing? Can you explain that to me a little bit?
So I found a friend of mine was introduced me to a platform called Clickly. And really, it's just sending emails and offers all the time. It's not nurturing at all. And so, yes, I have all these people that only know me as Lori, but they don't know me because they've never seen my face. I just send these emails. They're all like pre-programmed emails. And it just, I don't know, I'm losing faith in it. They're like, oh, you can make so much money from this. And I've tried all the different CPAs. I've gone through the, you know, let's try this one for a week. Let's try this one for a few days. You got to do 80% of your emails. And I'm just not seeing the rewards from it. And I'm just like, well, if I was being thrown offers all the time from this chick named Lori, all she's doing is trying to get my money. It's like, I don't know anything about her. So why should I do it? Maybe I shouldn't have that idea, but by the same token, it's just like, how can you build a following that's going to stick with you if you don't nurture them? So, and what's to say that they're not coming off my list? I don't know if they've all stayed on. I mean, I haven't seen my numbers go down, but I'm also list building. So if anybody clicks on something, then they're automatically added to my list. But it's just like, I would have to have well over 100,000 people for the 10, for the 10 cents to work to come up with some kind of money each month. But then you have to invest money in order to make money when it comes to that. And I know that for just about everything, but it just, I don't know. It just seems like the effort isn't showing the rewards. So this is where, and you have to do it every single day. Now, granted, it can take 10 to 15 minutes on minimum, but I like to analyze things sometimes, to try and figure out what's the pattern that's making this work for them. And I haven't figured out that pattern. So it's too many unknowns, I guess. And so that's why I want to use the CRM, which has just been money being thrown away because I don't have that list. And in order to nurture them and then, make the offer. So that's where I'm at with that. So the email marketing, yes, is it's easy, and I have a lot of people. It's like 11,000, like I said, but still, it took over 2 or 3 months to make that just with clicks. So, but they're empty clicks. There's no other way to really describe it.
Right. So you're not really sure how into these people really are into your actual product or yourself or anything else. These are just random clicks. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, pretty much, because they're templated emails, that are geared towards people who want to make money online. Then you have the CPA offers that you can throw in with that your affiliate. So like a $47 product, you can supposedly make 70, and I haven't seen any of that. My dollar offers, like some people did, it was like over 100 clicks. It was 15. So that could make some money, but I mean, it was only 15 cents.
Yeah.
So,
okay. So first thing I want you to do is stop using this system.
okay.
Okay. This system is costing you money and it has zero nurturing for your followers. None.
Right.
All you're doing is throwing offers at them.
Right.
And they're probably so upset about it, they're not even unsubscribing because they just see your thing and just go, and that's it.
Pretty much. And I mean, I would do the same thing, and I've done the same thing.
Right. So what we need to do is find a way for you to find a system that's going to allow you to personally nurture your followers with actual information, with actual content, something that says Lori, not just an ad, right?
Right.
We need more Lori.
Yeah.
Right.
So you keep saying, yeah.
Yes. We need more Lori. Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a different one. It's called
Okay.
ConvertKit.
Okay.
ConvertKit
Mm-hmm.
has the CRM that you're looking for,
Okay.
allows you to make your own templates,
Mm-hmm.
and allows you to send them over time.
Okay.
So instead of being every day that you have to go on and spend 15, 20 minutes, send, or whatever it is that you're doing at this one, you
Mm-hmm.
can have the initial email and then set it up for 3 days and then have another email, then set it up for another 2 days and have another set it up for another email and then a pitch. We don't want to go pitch, right? We want to go
Exactly.
greeting, value, pitch.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes a little bit of time to set up because you want to set up these emails for timing.
Mm-hmm.
But once you have it done, for the next week and a half, these emails are going to go out and you don't have to touch them.
Yes. So a nice email sequence.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
Now they do have templates, but you could use the templates. You could change it any way you want to. You could add videos to it. That's the
Okay.
other thing too. I'm going to add this to the more, Lori.
Mm-hmm.
People don't know your face. Show them your face.
Yeah. I know that. And then I get a better response when I do that. I've noticed. So
whether it's just a picture of you in the bottom left-hand corner of the end of the email, or whether it be like what I do is I actually try to put an actual video of me in the email saying, "Hey, how you doing? This is actually me. This is what I have for you today, blah, 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 blah." And then when you get to that last thing, "Hey, I have this available for you, but if you don't want that, I have other things. This is your next step."
Okay. Okay. Simple enough. Now, how much is ConvertKit each month?
I want to say it's for the first level, I think it's only like $15, $20 a month.
Oh, okay.
It's not
All
very
right.
expensive.
Now that's up to how many people? What, 5,000?
I'm not sure.
Oh,
I'm going to be
okay.
honest with you.
Okay.
I want to say 5,000, but I'm not 100% on that.
I can look at it. I mean, when you send me the link, I'll look into it. Yeah.
So, but that way you can actually, they'll probably be able to transfer all those people you have on your email list over to ConvertKit.
Mm-hmm.
Then you could start, what I would first start doing is start combing your ConvertKit, your email followers and see who's still following you. And I would do if you're still reading this, great. If you're not reading this, I'm going to delete you in 48 hours.
Okay. Right.
That'll get rid of a lot of the people that are just going to you.
Yeah.
Right. Then you'll have people that are actually following you. And then when you have people that are actually following you, then you could start providing them with services. You could start providing them with value, what you have to offer as far as information.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So this has the capability of showing who reads and who doesn't, like the open rates and all that stuff. Okay, good. Yeah.
Click-through rates, open rates, all that.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense.
I would definitely work on that next.
Okay. So
that way you have a little
we'll
more solid people that are actually following you that you can actually provide value to.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. And then I could convert some of the people who are on social media to the email list. So I know Brendan Bouchard did that. Are you familiar with him at all?
Sounds familiar, but
yeah. Like he's not the funnel guy, but he's another coach, and every time he did something online, he's like, send me your email, even on Facebook, just send me your email. That way I can put you on my list, send me your email so you don't miss something.
How do you put people on your email list? How does that work for you?
Well, I mean, like I said, it's just because the Clickly team has got a whole bunch of different, they've been doing it for over 20 years. This particular platform has only been available for about 2 or 3 years, but they're using their email list that they've gotten basically millions of emails. and are allowing the people who are using the platform to basically sell to. And then if they have an open rate, then that person is put on your list. So while I have a list and I can actually export it out, and put it into a different program. They're saying, why should you do that when you can do everything in house and you don't have to worry about exporting and blah, blah, blah. So, but I don't know. I don't really know how they stay if they're always, I don't know. I guess that's where I'm just a little lost in the explanation to you about that.
Yeah. So it just, these people are not high quality.
I don't think so. I don't think they are.
Okay. So.
And I haven't given one of my own, because they said that I could use my own products. I can, and they can like put together an email if they wanted, but they have to approve it first. So there's that.
Okay. I'm liking these people less and less the more you're talking about them.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's easy to get caught up in not that I have, because it's just like, no, money means more to me than time, or time means more to me than money. But it just, I'm not getting it. It's like, you're just wanting us to buy more credits, in order to get more people. So this is your platform. This is your spin, and this is your circle of offer. It's like, get the list building credits in order to send the emails. And then you could get, you get free list pro, abilities. We'll give you 1 million credits for that. So you can send out 100,000, emails a day. And so you go through 10 different templates, and it just, you can hear my frustration. It's just, I feel like I'm just throwing good money after bad at this point.
I hate to tell you,
not that I've done a lot,
I hate to tell you this, but you are.
Yeah.
I hate to be the one to say it, but you really are, because none of these leads are going to be quality leads.
That's what I need is quality leads.
So you need to make your own quality leads, because you know where they're coming from and what they're getting, and you know where they're going, right?
Okay.
You could take these people and help them along a road, right? And you could nurture them along this road yourself, instead of having to depend on somebody that maybe might be interested in what you're doing.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So I can walk you through that path at one point or another. It's going to take a little more time, but I mean, we can do that if you want to. I want to kind of get into a little bit about niching down what you're actually doing.
Sure.
So this is where you've read the Big Leap. This is where you need to really dig deep and find your zone of genius. Because you have a lot of zones of geniuses, which you got to understand. Some of those are going to be in the zone of genius, and some of those are going to be in the zone of excellence. And you have to be able to distinguish between the two to be able to do what you're going to do.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. It's very hard to distinguish between your zone of genius and your zone of excellence, because they're very close together.
They are.
Okay. So, I mean, if I was going to stay in my zone of excellence, I'd be a server for the rest of my life, because I love being a server. That's my second job.
Got it.
But I don't want to do that for the rest of my life, because it's not going to serve the people that I want to serve. I don't want to just serve the people in front of me a plate of food and say, have a nice day. I want to serve people like you that will have a lasting impression for the rest of their lives. That's my zone of genius, because I know if I do that, then I have a nice warm fuzzy feeling in my heart because I was able to help somebody.
Right.
So can you give me a more distinguished idea of what these buckets are that you have for these people that you're talking to? Do you actually have buckets for these people?
Well, I guess I need to create that. That's not just, people who, have read the book or whatever, or would fall into like where the book is. But I just need, like, the only bucket that I've created that I've helped people with is with their interviews.
Okay.
So be it getting their first job or leveling up. And I've had more progress and, you know, promising stuff happen from people who are leveling up. Like I had a lady who ended up, she's like high up in the government of Texas now because she, she was ex-military, working for, in the private sector, and came to me and asked, how do I use this in my next interview? Because I'm going for the next level up. And she ended up going 2 levels up.
Ooh.
So after her interview, she's like, I couldn't have done this without you. Thank you so much. So it's just like, so that's a bucket, is like people who are going from, not management to management, or management into higher management, like to the C-suite. So, because they were able to talk about themselves, not just, what was on their resume. So, and, tell me something, like you can answer the question easily. Tell me something about yourself that I can't read on your resume, that I wouldn't find on paper. So, and I'm not talking about you being a parent, or a wife or husband, I'm asking, tell me something about you that, you can't find on paper. And this would actually give them that. So so I guess in a way I haven't really truly figured out the buckets quite yet.
Okay. To be able to find your zone of genius and what you're doing, you're going to have to create buckets to choose from to know which direction you're going to go. That's going to help you niche down to the people that are going to need your help the most. Okay. So like, have you created an avatar for yourself?
I started to a long time ago, and then I got away from it. And I was trying to find my notes on what I did with that, because I'm a big time note taker. And I don't know what I ended up with.
That's okay. Because you're probably going to end up making a new one anyway, just because it's been so long. So don't go too crazy looking for that, because you're going to end up making a new one.
Okay.
What you're going to need to do is make an avatar for each of your buckets. Then see which of these avatars would bring you the most joy and abundance. Does that sound familiar? Joy and abundance to work with.
Okay.
It's going to be where you start.
Okay.
All right. Now, you could always pivot to different parts, different places. You always have the freedom to do any of that. But whatever you need to do, you need to find the zone of genius that you're going to find the most love and abundance for in the buckets that you're going to create.
Okay. Okay. Avatar for buckets.
If you draw a stick figure, put him in a bucket, there you go.
I'm good at stick figures.
Oh, me too. That's the only one. My daughter makes all my art. I don't do any of this stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So let's make sure we do that. What else? Oh, something came across my mind as you were telling me, explaining all of what you do. That would make for a great podcast.
Okay.
Because you have so much information, so much knowledge about your business, about what you do and how you come across it, and this questionnaire and all that. You can make a whole podcast out of that.
Okay. Never thought about doing that.
And even if it's just little 10-minute segments about this little piece of information, that's fine. They don't have to be a half an hour. They don't have to be an hour and a half. I've seen podcasts that go 7 minutes.
Okay.
So, and then as you're going along and building things up, something comes along where you come across somebody that has a problem or a specific thing. Well, go to this podcast number, blah, blah, blah. I talk all about that. So now you have a frame of reference where people can actually sit and listen to you.
Okay.
Is it necessary? Not completely. but it is still a way to get your voice and out there and a way for people to understand who you are and what you do.
So I could incorporate that if I didn't want to do a podcast. I could incorporate that as like almost like a video newsletter, and say,
Sure.
go back to this issue,
Yeah.
So then the CRM could work.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a great idea. You should do that.
Okay.
That's a great idea.
Okay. All right. Video newsletter. That works. Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
The one last thing I want to talk about here real quick that's kind of tickling the back of my head here is you talk about how you work with an elevator pitch.
Mhm.
Work for people with their elevator pitch, basically, right? The explanation that you gave me about what you do was not an elevator pitch.
No. Okay. Because that's where I get into the throwing up too much information.
So if you're gonna help people with an elevator pitch,
Mhm.
have one of your own.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna have to work on that. So,
Okay.
okay.
I think if you show people that you're able to do it for yourself, more people will want to do it with you.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. And now an elevator pitch, is that what? Like a minute or two? So many words? Do we know?
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
So
Okay.
what you basically want to do is go from everything you said, take it down to a paragraph, and then take it down to maybe 3 sentences.
Okay.
Squish it down where you can get as much information you can get that talks about what you do in about 3 sentences. Because heck, that's all the time I got for.
I know everybody right now, they're goldfish brains. So
If it's not in a 1-minute video, I don't want to have anything to do with it.
right. That's what a lot of people are. I mean, that's
Yeah.
why TikTok got so popular.
Speaking of TikTok, you told me about how you do have content, but you have a really rough time kind of getting it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Learn to batch content. Take the one piece of
Yeah.
content and use it for several different things.
Break it down.
Break it
I
down.
actually just recently learned that, you can take a piece of content and then break it up into different little pieces. You can spread it out, and then you can have the whole big thing that you can take the little snippets and like put it in certain places and just take a little something to it.
So what I do in my podcast, I also do video, right? Well, I take that video and I chop it up into shorts. So now I have a YouTube video, I have shorts, then I have my podcast. So you have the audio version. I have the transcripts from that podcast on my website. So now I have SEO on my website.
Okay.
Right. So there's
Yeah.
different parts that you can use in that same content and use it for other things. And it doesn't cost really much any more time than just cutting it up and doing it putting it where you need to put it.
Okay. So that's where I would do that in my 2 times a week, is create the content, in order to break it apart.
So basically what you can do is like, you could do your video newsletter, and take that video newsletter and take like a 1-minute clips out of it and put that on your Facebook Reels, put that on if you go with TikTok, whatever, any of those video places, right?
Yeah.
Take the transcript of that and put it in your blog or put it in or somewhere on your website. So now you have another place for people to go to find you. Plus you have SEO, right?
Yeah. See, now here's my problem with my website is that I have to go through somebody in order to make any changes instead of me making it myself. That's the one thing I don't like about this website place.
So what is your website place? Is this somebody that built for you?
Success Engine is the one that did it.
Success. I haven't heard of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're it just takes a lot to make changes. I had another platform. I wish I could think of what the name of it was, where I had control and then I could ask for help if I needed it. Of course, you had to pay for it, but I could make changes to the website without a problem. And it was a lot easier, but I went with Success Engine and Keep because it seemed like I could do the one pagers, much easier with Keep and Success Engine. But then when I did my website through Success Engine, I was just like, well, I want to tweak this and I want to tweak that, but then it's a ticket and then you have to wait so long. And I'm just sorry, I don't have time for that.
So what I would do, I mean, if you want to stay with them, that's fine. That's completely up to you. But when it comes to what you're going to start doing, you can even go get a free website on WordPress and just do the free version and then just throw it up there.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't tell you this. ConvertKit actually makes landing pages for you.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons why I went with Keep, was because they had landing pages. But if this is easier, I'll be more than happy to change.
Yeah, ConvertKit can actually, they have templates for landing pages. You can do yourself. They gave you the URL for the landing page, and all you have to, and just use that.
Okay. Simple enough.
Oh.
Okay.
All right. I have a lot more, but I feel like at this point I'd be feeding you through the fire hose. So, what I would like to know is if you have any questions about what we've gone over, anything that you want to top off of, I mean, anything at all that we've talked about that you want to just kind of double check on.
I think I pretty much got my first, marching orders, which is basically setting the boundary of time. 2 weeks, 2 times a week is very doable. Live in the word of no. I need to create that standard operating procedures. I put stars around that, which is pretty funny. Set it up for myself. Get the audiobook of The Big Leap. Find a system to nurture to followers, which you're going to send me the link for ConvertKit, which also has landing pages and a CRM. And then figure out like my greeting, the values, the pitches, the avatar for the buckets, do that video newsletter, and then maybe think about podcasts another time, create my elevator pitch and get that, basically that long thing down to a paragraph to 3 sentences.
Cool. Now give me the top 3. Give me the top 3 mean the most to you.
It's going to be definitely setting the boundary of time and the standard operating procedures.
Okay, that's 2.
So 2. And then I want to check out your ConvertKit, but I think I want to start. Number 3 would be putting the course in writing. So
good.
And that way, I think that's going to help me then figure out my avatar from there.
Very, very good. Very good. And what's the one thing you're going to do as soon as we get off the phone?
Go to bed.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess it's late for both of us. I mean, after that.
Oh, okay. After that, I'm actually gonna sit down and calendar my 2 times a week to go ahead and get this done.
And make sure you tell people about it. Make sure you tell your family and friends, everybody, hey, I need this time.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the recording here real quick.
Thank you for listening to the coaching edition of The Undiscovered Entrepreneur, brought to you by Doing It Today Coaching. If you want to get across the start line, contact me, DJ Scoob, at doingitoDayCoaching@gmail.com. Say the words, do it now, for a free 2-hour discovery call to see how I can help you in your entrepreneur adventure. Art and graphics by Elaine Wilson, supported by my Patreons, Brian Briggs of Ocean Tree Creative and Oliver Siegel of Anal, and hosted by me, DJ Scoob. Click the show notes below for more information. And remember, I can, I am, I will, and I'm doing it today. As a worker of 2 full-time jobs and a podcast and a coach, every minute counts in my day-to-day. It's hard to be consistent in any of my social medias, and at this point, I just can't hire a social media manager. It's just too gosh darn expensive. Pinnacle AI to the rescue. I've been using Pinnacle AI for a couple of weeks now and seen big improvements in my reach and consistency. Do you want to have time and increase your productivity too? Go to tuepodcast.net/AI for more information. Save yourself time and grow your brand. Try it now and see what it can do for you. Hello, Screw Believers. Let me ask you a real quick question. How many cups of coffee have you had today? 3, 5, 7? And let me guess, you've got a Red Bull in the other hand just in case, right? Yeah, I see you. Now, here's the truth bomb nobody wants to hear. You're not building a business. You're building a caffeine dependency. Listen, I get it. When you're grinding 12, 14, 16-hour days, you're building something from nothing. When you've got payroll to meet, investors to impress, and visions that won't wait. You need fuel. But what if I told you that the fuel that you're using is actually slowing you down? What if the very thing that you think is keeping you sharp is actually making you dull? Enter Rise Coffee. This isn't your grandma's mushroom tea. This isn't some hippie wellness trend. This is science meets performance. And here's what makes Rise different. Less than half the caffeine of a regular cup of coffee. But here's the kicker. You won't miss it. 6 organic powerhouse mushrooms, including cordyceps, what Olympic athletes use, and lion's mane, what Silicon Valley biohackers swear by. Sustained energy that doesn't spike and crash. We're talking smooth, clean power from morning to moonlight. Crystal clear focus without the jitters. Imagine closing the deal with calm, confident mind instead of the caffeine chaos. Gut health and immune support, because what's the point of building an empire if you're too sick to enjoy it? So here's the challenge to you. Stop borrowing energy from tomorrow. Stop running on fumes and call it a hustle. Stop wearing your caffeine addiction like a badge of honor. Real entrepreneurs optimize, real entrepreneurs adapt, real entrepreneurs win. You can't win if you're crashing at 2 p.m. while your competition is just getting started. Break the cycle. Head to risesuperfoods.com right now and use code PODNA15 for 50% off your first order. That's PODNA15 for 15% off. Try it for 30 days. If you don't feel the difference, if you don't feel sharper, calmer, more focused, more alive, then go back to your 6-a-day cup habit. But I'm telling you, you won't, because once you feel what real energy feels like, you'll never go back. Ditch the addiction, fuel your empire, and rise up. Rise Coffee, energy that builds, not burns.